started having problems with my legs, so I started studying naturopathic medicine. And when I opened up my shop in Idaho, I had more problems with my leg, and I actually went to several doctors, and at first they told me I had gout in my knee. I don't know if you know anything about gout, but you don't get it in your knee. You don't usually get it if you're a woman, so I started doing different diet stuff to get better, but I wasn't getting better. Eventually, it got really bad. But as it was getting bad, my readings were getting really good. And I could tell people what was wrong with them in their body, and I could see their angels, and I could see their future. And I was doing really good at that, but I was getting sicker. And so eventually I ended up with a doctor, a really pretty good old doctor in one of these little emergency facilities. He actually took time to look at me because I'd gone to other doctors because I'd had problems with my heart, my kidneys, like everything was falling apart on me. And good old doctor, looked at my leg and told me I had cancer. Looked at my femur and told me that I needed to go to a specialist, and I went to the specialist, and he told me that he'd only seen 2 cancers like mine in the entire time he was a doctor, and sometimes amputation helped. So, but when I was doing readings, I just would always go up and ask God, and creator of all that is, this energy, for my answers. I would always get answers, and I went up and asked if I had bone cancer, and I kept getting no. And I got that I had mercury poisoning and that I needed to get the mercury out of my body.
From like the teeth and all that?
I think so, and I asked God why he was taking my life, and I was here with or without a leg, so I knew I had to fix it. So I did everything. I did cleanses. I did a Scientology cleanse. I'm not a Scientologist, but I did their cleanse. I did a Stanley Burroughs lemon cleanse. I did a lot of cleanses.
You're one of the cleanest people on the planet with this thing happening. Yeah. Okay, good.
They went in and did a biopsy on my bone and found out that I didn't have bone cancer, but I had lymph cancer. And at the time, I didn't have any insurance, and I was poor. And top of your head and making a beautiful ball of light. Okay, now I want you to see this ball of light that is kind of transparent, that you can see out of it, but what color is that light?
It's like golden.
Okay, perfect. Now I want you to imagine going up past the universe, past all the bright white light, or past all the universe, as if you were going through all of outer space. You can see all the constellations, you can see everything, but you're going up past the entire universe. And now the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to see all these bright lights. And you're going to see them. They're bright. And then all of a sudden there'll be like a kind of a dark energy, and then a bright light, and a bright light, and a bright light. And now I want you to imagine that after you go through all those bright lights, there's this gold light. I want you to imagine going through it. You can come back here later, but I want you to go through it. And I want you to imagine going into something that feels like thick water, or maybe jelly or jello or something. But it's thick water. It's all these different colors. You may see some different shapes, geometrical shapes, but you're going through it. And this would be referred to once as the void, but you're going to keep going through this. And as you go through it, it's going to come out on the top into this sparkly white light. It sparkles like snow, has a teeny bit of blue and pink in it every once in a while, but it sparkles. Can you feel it?
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to see that that ball of light that you were in disappears, and all you are is a sparkly white light. Okay, and I want you to feel it going through every part of your body. Okay, and this is the energy that we would call the energy of all that is. Everything has shifted into this energy. And it's from this place that you make your request. Creator energy of all that is, or however you refer to the creative energy. It is commanded that I see my own body now, or I have a healing on my body now, or I have a healing on whoever you're working for. Thank you, it is done. And now all of a sudden you're going to be into that other person's space that you're working on, if you were, and you'd actually see their whole energy in their body start to shift into the sparkly white light, and you would see anything that was wrong with them actually being healed. And then you would go back into your space, kind of back to that sparkly white light yourself. So just imagine that you're back in that sparkly white light. Take a deep breath in. Now open your eyes. tells your brain certain things. First of all, a lot of people go up and they connect with these masters on this, what we call the fifth plane. They're spinning at a very high vibration. So we believe that in Theta healing that there are 7 planes of existence. First, when the molecules first form solid material. Next, when they form the plants. Next, when they form the proteins. And then the spirit world, which is like the 4th plane. And then, which vibrates higher. That's why you can't always see it with your eyes. And then the 5th plane is where the masters are. They can create. They use this energy of creation all the time. They vibrate very high. And so to be in that energy all the time is kind of hard on your physical body. So a lot of times healers tap into it and then they kind of can't hold that vibration forever. Their little bodies sort of feel it. And so there's another one called the laws of the universe when you start tapping into light and music, things like that. And then there's another place where everything is made. And that actually goes back to the very beginning of an atom. It's called the energy of all that is. It's actually the protons and neutrons. And if you connect with that energy, your body can go anywhere. So that means that once you connect to that energy of all that is, you can go and talk to the masters without getting exhausted. You can go and work with the 6th plane energies. You can go and work with the spirit realm, but you never get exhausted. But in this energy of all that is, you can have instantaneous healings. It's my belief that all the energies heal. There's the right mineral, there's the right vitamin, there's the right protein for every sickness. I believe the spirit world can heal. I believe the masters can heal. I believe the laws can heal. But if you use that energy of all that is, you actually discreate sickness and recreate health. And it's in a fraction of a second. So instead of gradually getting better, you can get better instantly. And that's what we teach our students, is how just to do that simple meditation and how to take it a little bit deeper, like changing maybe a belief that keeps someone sick. Because maybe they feel like they'll pull their family together if they're ill. If we teach them that they can pull their family together without being ill, their body will get better. Isn't that cool, huh? So if you just actually practice that meditation, even if you wanted to, even for like 5 minutes a day, your body would start to get completely strong and healthy. Because you're just, instead of being separate, because we believe, for some reason we think our body is separate than the creative energy of all it is, and it's not. And what that little meditation does
We
is
think we're separate,
right,
as everything.
As everything, but we're not. And this little meditation brings you into a realignment that, we're not separate. We are sparks of God, and we're all unique and special, but we're together. And it just makes a whole mental shift. Mentally, it teaches you that there's more to the universe than what you think. It teaches you that you have the ability to actually just become the molecule itself. And it also does something amazing. It works. Oh, theta wave, nice stuff, all cool stuff. That all sounds great scientifically, but I'm going to tell you, there's nothing like watching somebody heal like that. It's just, all of a sudden you just know that we're part of something really divine and that we're part of God. But, the creative energy of all that is. I say that with lightness because on the 5th plane, I believe the Ascended Masters are, which use this energy to create all the time. And so I just think that the energy of all that is something we can tap into. And it's pretty phenomenal. We've taught artists and writers and people how to do the technique, and it's simple and it's fun and it's amazing.